Today, federal investigators began examining the two Northwest Airlines jets involved in yesterday's on-the-ground collision. 8 people were killed when a DC-9 turned into the path of a 727. Everyone agrees the DC-9 was not where it should have been. The question is why? Here's ABC's Jim Slade.
Fuel was still leaking from the 727's broken wingtip today. Investigators could see how the 727 on its takeoff roll struck the smaller DC-9 near the nose and dragged down its side. Fires started quickly. Investigators are trying to find out how the DC-9 pilot, who had a perfect safety record, ended up on the runway instead of on an adjacent taxiway in the fog. Federal government records show there have been more than 200 incidents on the ground at U.S. airports so far this year. Safety board investigators believe there will be even more as airline traffic expands in the next decade, and that not enough is being done to control the traffic safely on the ground. Safety officials complain that the Federal Aviation Administration has focused more heavily on preventing collisions in the air. Like most airports, Detroit has no ground control radar of any kind, relying instead on radio communications and visual sightings. Eventually, Detroit and 29 other airports are supposed to get a new radar system that monitors ground traffic, alerting controllers to a possible collision in any weather.
Warning. Possible incursion.
But the new radar's been delayed while the bugs are worked out.
I think the real tragedy here is that there is technology available to keep these things from happening.
Investigators studying the plane's data recorders will want to know exactly when the DC-9 pilots realized they were in harm's way, what they told the tower, and why the tower did not stop all takeoffs if it was clear the plane was lost in the fog. Jim Slade, ABC News, Detroit.
Note about another crash. A congressional report today has accused the U.S. and Canadian governments of bungling the investigation into a plane crash 5 years ago in Gander, Newfoundland, by failing to investigate a possible terrorist connection. All 256 people on board were killed, 248 of whom were U.S. soldiers returning from the Middle East. Last year, ABC News reported that officials had ignored the possibility that terrorism played a role in the crash.